In this video, we're going to take a look at automated walk-forward testing. So in a nutshell, what we're going to do is after we've developed our strategy in multi-charts or TradeStation, we get to a point where we often want to put it into incubation. In other words, we're done with our development process. We like the way it looks, but we're going to hold off on it and keep looking at it as new data arrives as we walk forward in time with real live data. So this is completely unseen data, and it's a process that's fully manual. I often create a folder in TradeStation where I keep all of my workspaces for strategies that are in incubation and then update those on a monthly basis. But here, we don't have to do any of that. We just tell Tradesq to walk forward this, and it's going to start tracking it. And then we can simply go to a page and review the results. It automates this and makes it really nice. Let's go to Tradesq and see what this looks like. In this video, we're going to take a look at forward testing. And under forward testing, there's going to be schedule, walk forward test, and strategies. Mine's showing Tradesq 5, which is a feature which is going to be removed soon, so I'm going to ignore that for now. We're just going to focus on these top two. So let's go take a look at schedule forward test. So when we take a look at this schedule forward test, in a nutshell, what we're going to do is imagine during our development process, whether we're building the system in multi-charts or TradeStation, we go through our development process and create a strategy. At some point, we're finished and we put it into incubation, or that's what we do most of the time. After the development process is complete, we're going to watch how it behaves on the live market. We're not going to trade it with real money. We're just going to make sure that it's not overly fit to the historical data. We're going to load it on a chart, and over the coming weeks and months, we're just going to watch the performance. So this is a process that is fully manual. I'll often create a folder in TradeStation where I'll keep my workspaces for strategies that are in incubation. And then what I'll do is on every month or so, I'll go in and take a look, load up those workspaces, load those charts, and see how they're performing. But with Tradesq, we don't have to do any of that. We can just tell Tradesq to start tracking these strategies as walk forward. So that's exactly what this is. When you have your strategy that's complete, you've built it in TradeStation, you're happy with it, and you want to start tracking its performance on unseen data, you're going to schedule it in the walk forward tester. Now, what's also nice about this is private. Let me say that again. This is private. When you load a strategy in the forward tester, this is just for your eyes. This does not go into the strategy library. Nobody else can see the results. Nobody else can get your strategy code. So let's say I have a strategy here. I'm going to call it Sigma. And this is a strategy that I developed in TradeStation. I'm going to paste the code here. I'm going to select the market. This is for natural gas. Not using data 2, and it's for a daily strategy. And I'm going to put the date of development today, the time of this recording. And so what I'm telling Tradesq to do is, here's the strategy code, and the date of development is today, and you can go and change this to what you see fit. Maybe you actually developed this last year or 2 years ago or last month, so you can go and set the date of development appropriately. Once that's set, you can put add private strategy. And you can see already right here, it's saying that this strategy is going to be private. Actually, I'm going to go put my name up here. So this is jumping out to the forward tester. What we're going to do is actually go to the strategy name and look for ones with Jeff. These are my strategies. And here's Sigma. And what we can do is build a portfolio. Now, I already have a portfolio created, so I'm going to select this, assign to a portfolio, and I'm going to put that in my incubation folder. So then I can come here and select incubation folder or the incubation portfolio, and I have some test strategies here. These would be strategies that I've created in TradeStation and now am tracking on the walk forward. And you can come in here then every month and see how many new trades there are, what's the out-of-sample P&L, what's the R2, what's the drawdown, and the year-to-date P&L. Right now, I just have examples in this demo account. There really isn't any information in here. You can then also create one for live trading. Again, in this demo account, I don't have anything in here, but if you have a group of strategies that you're trading live, obviously this isn't tracking live trades, but it's a way to segregate some of your strategies into different portfolios so you can quickly get to them. So that's the forward tester, and that's what we used right here. If we move on to strategies, under here we can see our portfolios that we just talked about, the incubation and live trading. But this is more than just tracking your strategies. There is this search field right up here where we can search the entire Tradesq library on walk forward data. So again, what makes this different than the strategy library where we looked at the strategy matrix and strategy screener, these were all back tested. We're now under forward testing, so this is just going to be forward tested data. So when you enter a strategy in the back tester, on that date, Tradesq locks that code, right? You can't change it, and it's just going to track the performance as the months and years roll forward. So you can come into then the forward tester, go under strategies, and begin searching exclusively that range of data, the walk forward unseen data. So we can come in here and say, well, let's look for, I don't know, heating oil's been hot lately. So we'll do heating oil, and we want the trades to be at least 30 trades on the out of sample, and we want the R2 to be above 0.85, and we want the return versus drawdown to be above 2.0. All right, you can see how quickly it filtered those, and what we are left with is only 1, 2, 3, 4 strategies. Now, if you go under the strategy library to the screener and do something similar, you'll see a bunch of strategies pop up. That's because those were all back-tested results. Now we're looking at the forward results, and at this time there's going to be a lot fewer of those. However, what's great is this is unseen walked forward data, and we have some interesting strategies. We have 4 strategies on a daily, 60-minute, 180-minute, and another daily. Let's go take a look at this daily one. Looking across, we can see that it has 7 months of out of sample with 110 trades with a net profit of $16,000. And the R2 is 0.95, and the return versus drawdown is 5.38. Year-to-date profit is just about $12,000. And Tradesq has a little algorithm that it runs and flags hot strategies with this little icon, kind of looks like a sun or a star. And I believe this has to do with the net profit versus drawdown and how the equity curve is shaped. So if we go take a look at this top one, what you'll see is the monthly performance and the total performance, as well as the out of sample performance down here at the bottom. Now, the blue here in this equity graph, we can see we have a key here. The blue is all in sample, and the red is the walk forward test. So there's our walk forward test, and we can get a little zoomed in on that red portion down here. And Tradesq creates a graph here of expectations. We have the gray line, which is the expected mean, and then the upper band is 1 standard deviation, and the lower band is 1 standard deviation, and then the red zigzaggy equity is the actual. So we can see this has been performing better than the mean, but it's kind of been bouncing around. So maybe we don't like that one. Let's go back out. Let's look at the 60-minute one that showed up second. It looks like its year-to-date performance hasn't been doing great. Let's go take a look. Yeah, see, this one hasn't been performing as well, not as well. It has done 33 trades, $10,000. Now notice this one has orange. We don't see that too often. What they did with this strategy is they went to the smart backtester, backtested over a large chunk of data, and they left a small chunk of data for the out of sample, and that's the orange. And then once the backtest was complete, Tradesq locked the code down, and the red, which is also highlighted down here, is the true out of sample performance. And that's what's down here in this graph as well. That little red blip here, that's 33 trades over 15 months, generating about $11,000 in profit. And here is the monthly performance. This one's marked as hot, and it's 180 minute. And wow, this one just really took off. Look how this one's performing. So let's say you really like this one. Well, you could go grab that strategy code, download it, and load it into your platform. Pretty sweet, huh? So you can see how you could go through and search for strategies based upon the out of sample performance. Let's take a look at NQ. So here's NQ. We can see a couple are labeled as hot. Let's take a look at those. This one is on a 360-minute chart. And that looks really good. Here's the in sample. Again, we have an out of sample segment, and then the true walk forward test in red. And that's 48 trades over 15 months, generating just under $23,000 in profit. So we can come in here and grab that strategy code and use it in our own strategies. Now again, you'll notice that there's far fewer ones on the walk forward. Some of that has to do with Tradesq is only a couple years old, so people are still putting in strategies, hundreds of strategies per month. There just isn't enough out of sample data to qualify some of these strategies. And of course, qualifying on out of sample data is really difficult. But this is really a great feature, and I really like the ability to build portfolios. So let's say we wanted to build a new portfolio. So let's make a new portfolio of, let's call it a watch list. So we'll just create a new portfolio like that. And then now as we come through here, we can assign it to our watch list. I think I like this one as well. Yep, that one was a good one. We'll assign it to our watch list. There was a, let's look for something in soybeans. Yeah, soybean one. Yeah, that's a good one. I like the way that's look, so I'm going to watch that one. I'm going to assign that to our watch list. So when we come into our forward testing in a month, we can come in here, take a look at our watch list, and see what our favorite strategies are doing, if they're improving or not. Likewise, we have access to our incubation folder or any other portfolio. All right, I went and added a couple more strategies into my watch list. So I have RB, nat gas. So I have gasoline, nat gas, NQ, NASDAQ, and the Japanese yen. And I wanted to just highlight next this portfolio button. So if you click on this, it's going to give you the equity curve of the entire portfolio, assuming one contract per strategy. It's going to give you the portfolio drawdown, as well as this pie chart showing you what sectors you're in: energy, currency, and index. And most interesting is the strategy correlation matrix. So we want to try to find, if you're going to be building a portfolio to trade, you want to find strategies that have low correlation. And what this one is telling us, let me take a snapshot of this, bring it up here. So when we close this report, we can look at this image. So what this is telling us is the darker colors, such as the purple, are showing lower correlations. The ones in green are showing higher correlations. So this will give you an idea of what strategies you should mix and match that would make a better fit in a portfolio. So the one here in purple, 12489, is the natural gas. And natural gas seems to do pretty well with most of the others. But of course, 11580, which is NQ, an index, isn't doing so well with 83, which is RMB, and it's not doing so well with 44, which is the Japanese yen. So this will show you, give you hints on where you should go to add and remove strategies. The whole idea is to build up a portfolio of uncorrelated strategies. So that's the forward tester. I really like the ability to go and search out strategies that are exclusively calculated on the unseen data. You have the ability to create as many portfolios as you want, as many watch lists. So you can create a watch list of the top 5 energy sector and the top 5 grains. Your own personal incubation portfolio can contain your private strategies. I showed you how to do that and load your private strategies using the schedule forward test option. So again, these are your strategies that are private to you, and this provides a great place to review those results. So that's forward testing in a nutshell.